constant cap. I've been pelted with peanuts, bottle caps, and bananas, and jolted in the aisle by guys who look innocently skyward but smirk to show that they did mean to do it. In Boston last week, I got bumped at the urinal and sprayed the wall. Fortunately, my wits and reflexes are still viable at 71, and I was able to redirect the flow where it belonged. This was fortunate, for if I'd sprayed the bruiser next to me, I likely would have suffered a beating. I've had some of those. It's like this. As the tone-deaf relation of some team official finishes strangling the last note of the Star-Spangled Banner, I'll announce in a friendly tone, "Can't fault her, it's such a wickedly hard song to sing." Simple honesty compels a young man nearby to grunt agreement with the contrary old fellow who refused to doff his cap during the anthem. He'll scrutinize me and I'll twinkle back. If I detect a gleam of curiosity, I'll chuckle and say, "A little odd to make a patriotic ceremony out of a mere ball game." Most folks shut me down at this point with, "That's my country you're talking about, sir," though a glance should suggest that "sir" has walked this land far longer than they. Others toss off non sequiturs. "Well, baseball's the classic American game after all." "True," I'll rejoin, "which is why the compelled observance of a patriotic ritual makes no sense here in the land of the free." One young man raised his beer to that sentiment in Milwaukee. 2 beers later, he told me that his great-grandfather organized brewery workers in the Depression and got his skull cracked. I told him in a confidential hush that I don't really want to get my skull cracked, but that I don't intend to crawl towards the grave on my belly either. The north side of Chicago was loads of fun. "He's just hiding his baldy," a bleacher bum quipped, so I raised my fedora to reveal the snowy waves that Gloria ran her fingers through for 45 years, till I lost her last winter. Loudly I proclaimed, "My young friends from the land of Studs Terkel, I'm not hiding my head or anything else, least of all my beliefs." They were all in fine spirits on that balmy afternoon, so I fired my bullet points as we bantered through the day. It's a deadly dull song. It's militaristic. Nobody can sing it. It cheapens the anthem to play at 162 ball games a year. And most of all, folks, here's the main thing. A spindly young man with stringy hair and gleaming gray eyes, the sort of guy you'd picture studying advanced physics or founding an anarchist commune, looked up at me with his chin on his fist. "The essence of America, the very reason we love this country, is freedom, is independence, is the goddamn right not to stand for the anthem at a damn baseball game on a Thursday afternoon against the damn Cardinals of St. Louis." For this, I received a cloudburst of claps. It's always good form to dump on the Cards. The South Side, not ducky. I attended a day game for safety, but a battery whacked my head just the same. Just a AA, fortunately. In New York City fields, a literary agent begged me to write a memoir of my anti-anthem ballpark tour. Yankee Stadium went about as expected. 2 huge guys squeezed into the empty seats on either side of me and pressed against me with jovial menace. No problem. My extensive knowledge of Yankee history lulled them by the 3rd inning, and in the 6th, one fell asleep dribbling spittle and beer on my shoulder. I worked wonders in D.C. A lesbian waitress, an NRA lobbyist, a Democratic congressional staffer from California, and a uniformed Navy vet from Virginia led a chorus of jeers that drowned out my effort to point out the irony of suppressing free speech right here in the nation's capital. "Hey," I proclaimed during the 7th inning stretch with arms spread wide to accept their acclaim, "you should thank me for bringing you bickering folks together." This was right after God Bless America, which I had just condemned as the impetus for the second coerced patriotic display of the day, which furthermore compelled allegiance to somebody's God. Liberals and conservatives alike pelted me with foodstuffs, and I left Washington as the great unifier. There are 5 cities left of the scheduled 30. Miami is dicey, for I can't figure out how to ensure that I sit among free-thinking migrant Jews from New York and not anti-Castro Cubans. Texas could be fine, for despite their jaw-thrusting patriotism, I think they'll respect my Texas-sized bravado. My chief fear is Atlanta. Listen, up in Cleveland, the land of the Indians, I got a 5-stitch cut in my lower back from a sharp object while penguin waddling through the concourse after the game. Why? Because I had supplemented my anti-anthem routine with a rant against their racist icon, the savage Chief Wahoo. But the toleration of bigotry is not in my game plan. Not now, not at this stage of life, not after so many years of letting it slide. So when they start up with that goddamn racist tomahawk chop in Atlanta, I will say my damn piece. Yea, right there in Georgia, the starting point of the Trail of Tears where the devil went down. Yeah.